14 internal colleagues actually going through apprenticeship program, and so far we have 13 new apprentices within Acas. We started 2017 when the apprenticeship was actually launched. So we do our best as organization to be the employer choice for any graduate that actually thinking of changing careers, or anyone thinking of pursuing apprenticeship. So what we tend to gain is, once they come in, we do our best to upskill them, to help them by providing high quality apprenticeship training, and at the end of the apprenticeship, we support them as well to get the qualifications they need, have the right support. If we have the funding, we support them to make sure at the end they're actually converting from a fixed term contract to a permanent member of staff. Should in case we do not have any position towards the end of the apprenticeship, we support them through the success profiles. They go on success profiles training. We support them with CV writing. After their apprenticeship program, they've actually said, you know what, I need to move forward into another government department. So in a way, Acas, we are happy because we've developed them for them to be able to go into the wider community, especially the civil service, to progress their career.
I think the way we look at it, it's not really an either or. It's it's an and thing. There's so many virtues from taking the graduate route, and there's so many virtues with the apprenticeship route. I can talk about our own experience recruiting apprentices, which we first did 6 years ago, just over 6 years ago, and we took on 2 higher apprentices. The experience for us, which I think is probably like the model that most organisations and most apprentices want to participate in, was very much built around very close involvement in their development, the immediate involvement for them in teams with responsibility, and growing the nature of their roles as well, because we recruited into 2 areas where we had a bit of a skill deficit. We weren't really sure how to address it, and it turned out for those particular roles, one was a customer service, one was a broad marketing communications opportunity. Really, the apprentices themselves, the 2 individuals in question, they're absolutely ideal for it. And I think we came to understand that sort of fusing of work and study was very powerful, because it helped us consolidate our relationship with education providers locally. So it's not a clear-cut either or for us, definitely, but we are invested in the idea of apprenticeships. So it's been a very happy experience, certainly for the individuals. It was a very credible way and a very positive way to recruit. And I think a lot of SMEs particularly understand the benefits of the apprenticeship route particularly. Getting to know young workers at a very early stage in development and helping become part of that ongoing development is a very profound experience for both parties, actually. And I think, from the employer's point of view, and this was certainly the same for us and for many other employers with the work experience and placement experience, it's that loyalty that you hope to receive and give back in turn. And that's sort of growing together into a job with a very, very particular eye on long-term permanent work. Because I think that's the ideal outcome, isn't it, for both parties, if that's what both parties want. So that's been our experience of it, and it's something that we intend to continue.
Because looking at the job market, some of the organizations, they're actually looking for HR generalists. My background is in HR generalists, and I love developing people. When we think about success profiles, developing self and others, I love that. So that is the ideas and the skills, the behaviors I tend to transfer into our apprentices as well, for them to have opportunity to shadow round. So yes, we've actually done that, and that's one of our successes. We've had people that have actually finished 3 apprentices. They finished. One has become HR manager, generalist manager in Attorney General. One has moved on to work in employee relations, and one has moved on to actually work in policy. So they've had that individual. So at the end, they had the choice of deciding, actually, I want to work in a specialist role. And also, we've had few 3 apprentices actually they've completed. We've able to retain them in Acas. 2 of them actually moved on now last year to sign on to do degree apprenticeship. So that is our second apprenticeship with Acas. And we've seen actually one that completed apprenticeship in project management from grade 10 to grade 8. So she jumped 2 grades. So that is the skills and everything that Acas has given them the opportunity to work with higher stakeholders, senior managers, exec board, to do presentation, and we support them even with the network as well. So they've been able to go out into the wider community and showcase, the background and the experience that Acas has given them. So those are our achievement. And also last year we managed to retain 5 of our apprentices that actually completed apprenticeship, and they are still with us in Acas.
Well, certainly the versatility, adaptability of the apprenticeship model, we've been very struck by that. Just to revert to the 2 examples who came in and have then gone on to do a different type of apprenticeship, with us as well, a degree apprenticeship after starting into higher level. And I think also because we have an interest in apprentices as workers, we also provide a lot of information for students on the Prospects website about the kind of apprenticeship opportunities that are available. And really, it's striking just how much interest and appetite there is from a very diverse audience, certainly in terms of age and experience. You're absolutely right. There is an apprenticeship up to a certain point. It's an apprenticeship opportunity for most students at most levels, and we've also we promote apprenticeship opportunities for smaller companies on the site as well. So there's a huge demand for it, and that has held up over the last 2 years extremely well. I think the appetite and interest for apprenticeship opportunities, school leave opportunities generally, has been really significant across the recruitment industry. So it just speaks to the success of the model and the ongoing interest in it. From our point of view, it is a normal part of recruitment now. And I think I'm just struck by something Rosalind said about the way the apprentices, if it goes well, and it sounds like your experience has been pretty successful as well, which is great to me. People become sort of ambassadors, don't they, for they take that experience out into the community, like say, into education institutions. They talk about it amongst their peers as well. So it's when done well and when done satisfactorily for everybody, I suppose the benefit just spreads, doesn't it? And the word spreads very, very effectively. And I suppose it also nurtures the idea of apprenticeships amongst other prospective apprentices. And similarly, on the employer-provider side, it's the more happy experiences there are, the more employers will pick up the baton as well, won't they, and start to develop their own apprenticeship routes as well as some other ways in. So I think from that effect, there is a very profound social benefit, isn't there, to the apprenticeship model, which I wouldn't say is unique amongst routes into employment, but it certainly stands on its own in terms of value, doesn't it? The opportunity, accessibility, improving issues around social mobility, for example. The apprenticeships sort of tick all of those boxes, don't they, in pretty much every respect.